Hi everyone, it's Keren here from tuppencecoloured.co.uk. This is what I've been making today. It's a little paper tote bag, and this style of bag was made very, very popular about this time last year by Stampin' Up demonstrator by the name of Caroline Hallett. And it's so popular that it is known as a Hallett bag. And for some reason or other, I just never got round to making one last year. So this is my take on it. And if you stay with me, I will show you how I made mine. I'm going to begin by doing all of my scoring. So I've cut myself some pieces of Dapper Denim card, and the first one is going to be the base of the box, and it's 5 inches by 2.5, and I'm going to score at 1/2 inch on all 4 sides. Okay. And I've got another piece of Dapper Denim, which I've cut the full length of the A4 card, and it's 1.5 inches wide, and I'm going to score it halfway at 3/4 inch. Oops. And the last 2 pieces that I'm going to score, they're 1 inch wide by 10 inches, and I'm going to put a mark 1 inch from either end. And I'm going to score between those marks at 1/2 inch. So about 1 inch down, and the same on the other one. So just mark lightly, 1 inch from either end, and score at 1/2 inch between those marks. And those are going to be the handles of the bag later on. Okay. So I'm going to do some burnishing. And while I've got my bone folder in the house, I'm just going to quickly burnish along those marks that I've made. And I will come back to those later. So I've got to hide the pieces that I don't want. I'm going to start by making the base of the box. Sorry, the bag. It's a box. Right. Start again. I'm going to make the base of the bag, which is from this piece, and I'm just going to, as you usually do, just snip in and just take out a little wedge on each of the 4 corners, and that just helps the box to fit together. Box, bag, well, card, whatever it is, it just helps it to fit together a little bit better, because you're not trying to put 2 pieces of card in the same space, and that is physically impossible. And if you don't do this, that will be why your box goes together wonky. Okay, so I'm just matching up my edges and pressing. And pressing. And pressing. And that is the base of my bag. I've cut a 4 inch wide strip of the By the Tide DSP, and I picked this pattern because it looks like something that would have been on a bag that my mother would have taken to the beach when I was little. And I've got the base of my box here, and I'm just going to put DSP, tearing tape. This is the second of these bags that I've made, because I got almost to the end of the first one and then found out I'd forgotten to start the recording going. I was not a happy bunny, but still it does mean that I have 2 to show you now. So there we go. So I'm going to start by removing some of the backing from the tear and tape. Now I'm butting this edge up with the level with the corner, but it's not stuck down. Okay, because that was a mistake when I made the first one, was that I put it in, I didn't allow for that, and then I had them overlapping on the top instead of being able to tuck my last piece under. So, you know, every cloud has a silver lining. This side's pretty too. This paper's really, really lovely. I really like it. And because I live by the seaside, anything that is sea themed or nautical themed, I tend to like anyway, because it's just so much like where I live. And yes, I know I'm a very lucky girl. And right, I'm going to turn that back before I get myself in too much of a knot. You know, see, I didn't think this one through again. Did I, Eck? Okay, so I'm just going to put a piece of tear and tape along here, because this will be my seam. Because if I'd been thinking properly, I would have done that before I started. But as I said, but my brain is not working today. It's just not happening, all right? Okay, so I'm going to bring this around, and now that is going to tuck underneath there, just like that. And this, I take the backing off the tear and tape, and that then, and I'm trying not to kind of squash the edge, because this bit is quite it's quite firm, it's quite a sharp corner, but this top edge I want to be much softer. Okay, so that's the first thing that I want to do. Now I'm going to do the same thing again, and I'm just going to put an edge in of the dapper denim all around the bottom of the box, just to cover up where it joins, and I'll probably fast forward this. Okay, so that's the bottom of the bag finished. This is going to be the top edge of the bag, and I want it to have a pattern on it, and I'm going to use this stamp set, perfectly wrapped, and I'm going to use these little dots here, and I've got some Dapper Denim ink, and I'm just going to stamp along roughly in the middle, just so that it looks a bit like rough stitching, and I'm not obsessing too much over any of this. That will do me. Quite happy with that. And now I'm going to put tear and tape along both sides. Now I want this to fit over the top of the bag to make a nice finished edge, but to do that I need to persuade it to curve a bit. So I'm being quite firm with my bone folder and just curling it on the inside. And what I'm doing here is I'm stretching and breaking some of the fibres in the card so that it will curl. Because if I didn't do this, otherwise it really wouldn't want to go around the inside of the curve. Right, now again I'm going to break the backing on that a little so that I can start this off here, for the same reason, so that I can underlap when I get to the other end. Now I'm just resting the fold onto the edge of my bag, and I'm just going to, and I mean, I'm not trying to fit the card over the edge of the back just yet. I'm just using it as a place to guide me, so that I know that my fold is at the edge of the bag and that it's straight, basically, because me and straight are not friends. Yeah, trust me on this. Straight and I have our differences. Okay, there we are. And now I can take that edge off, and that just matches up quite nicely. Okay, and then that will then tuck inside. But I'm not going to do that just yet. There's a couple of other things that I want to do. Alright, so I'm going to bring back these pieces. Now these are going to be my handles, and I'm going to round off the corners. I hope I am on that one. And I've got a handheld punch here. I think it's a 1/8 of an inch circle, and I'm just going to put a little hole in each end of the handles, and that is how I will come to attach them in a little while. Right, but first of all, I'm going to put a bit of tearing tape about 1/2 inch back from the from where the scoring starts and finishes. Just about that much. And then that folds over on top of that, just like that. And like that, and then these become the ends of the bag, and these and again with the bone folder. Actually, I'm curling that the wrong way because that is the side I'd like to have hidden, I think, because if you look, it's not quite even, it hasn't quite reached the edge, so I'm going to hide that bit. So I'm going to curve around it. There we go. So it's one handle, and do the same with the other one. Okay, so now I want to put the handles onto the bag, and to do that I've got my paper piercer and a cork, because I don't particularly want to stick my paper piercer into my fingers. That would not be good. Oops. I don't want to drop my cork inside my bag either, so I'm making sure that the cork is behind where I'm going to be sticking my hole, and I have a paper fastener, which is one, you know, it is one I got from the stationers actually, so it's a nice big one, nice big head, with Stampin' Up. We don't sell the brads anymore. It was a bit of a blow, but never mind. You know, gotta move on. Okay, and now this one. So trying to space them evenly from the end is giving me a challenge at the moment, but we will get there. There we go. I think that's about where I want it. Make sure that my cork, otherwise known as finger protector, is in place, and through with my piercing tool. And the line of dots that I stamped is actually helping me to keep lined up and straight. Prod that through, open up. Okay, and I'm now going to do the same on the other side. And here is my finished Hallet bag. And I should bring back the first one that I made. And it's paper from the it's from the same DSP pack. I just used one of the other patterns, and this one is in with Calypso Coral rather than the Dapper Denim, and a couple of other differences as well. The handles are spaced further apart, and the handle on these ones were longer. So I made these a little bit shorter because I thought it suited the proportions of the bag a bit better. But you know what? I like them both. So thank you very much for joining me, and I would absolutely love it if you would leave me a comment or give me a thumbs up, a like, and if you really liked the video, then please do think about subscribing to my channel, because I will be posting more very soon. There's a blog and a Facebook page, information underneath there, and there's also a link to my Stampin' Up shop. But for now, thank you very, very much for joining me, and I hope I'll see you again soon. Bye bye.